We did watch a cool movie.
Yep, which I'm going to tell you about right now.
In 3. No, I'm just kidding. Good.
Cool Runnings is a movie that was scored by Hans Zimmer, and you can tell because all he did was make steel drum covers of 90s pop songs, which is not a normal thing Hans Zimmer does. Hans Zimmer is the same composer that
He does all the stuff.
Interstellar and
all the cool stuff.
all the cool stuff.
He's the big music guy.
Yeah, and I went, oh, cool, Hans Zimmer made the soundtrack, and it was all steel pan drums. Anyways, our main character, Darius, has a familial history of going to the Olympics, and he's a runner, and he wants to do the same thing.
Yeah. We know this immediately right off the bat because
he's running.
Because he's running at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, in Jamaica.
The first scene.
Yeah, and his friend
Sanka
is a box car derby
champion.
Champion at this point. And so they have their 2 sports, and Doris is like, I gotta go do the competition.
Very comparable sports, these two.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're trying to get at.
Right.
Is that they both have
Olympic
like
running,
race things that they like to do. And so Doris goes to the qualifying race for the Olympics.
For
the Olympics. No, Sanka does his thing. He wins. That's not a surprise.
Yeah, there's a whole scene of
he has a lucky egg that he kisses, so he has to win. That's how that works.
We all have a lucky egg. It's not always an egg, but and sometimes we kiss those things.
Mine's my wife.
You're lucky person. Cute. Too cute. Cute finger guns.
So there, Doris meets. I'm having to look up these names. I'm sorry.
Jules Brenner.
Yeah, Jules Brenner and Junior. Guys,
I just watched a few hours ago.
Yeah, and Brenner is a very well-known runner who hates being in Jamaica and wants to be anywhere else.
He's the tough guy.
He is the
Bald,
tough guy.
He's got the muscles.
He's big.
He's a big dude.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And Junior is...
you know how we feel about big guys.
Yeah, we love big guys. We're 2 big guys over here. 2 big guys watching movies. That's the new podcast name.
Yeah, right.
And Junior is Nepo baby.
Yeah.
It is also a decent runner, right?
His family's rich.
And he could prove to us that he's a decent runner if he wasn't tripping everybody up and causing them to
he's a decent
from
runner
the race.
when he's not completely failing at running.
Yeah. So he trips everybody, and most people that should probably qualify for the Olympics don't get to.
He's literally running right between our hero, the main protagonist, Doris,
and big guy.
Yeah, and big will crush your skull if you look at him wrong. Jules Brenner, and he trips them both.
So all 3 of them don't get to go to the Olympics. Oh no! And so what is
the inciting incident?
Yeah, that is the inciting incident. So what does Doris do? He goes and he complains, and he goes, "No, you have to run the race back. That wasn't fair." And the guy running the Olympic whatever in Jamaica is like, "Yeah, well, life's not fair." And so Doris goes, "Hey, what's that picture on the wall with my dad in it?" And he goes, "Oh, that's the bobsled team. When Jamaica had a bobsled team."
No. He said, "Who's that guy next to my dad?" And he's like, "Oh, that's
Irv."
Yeah, that's some dude who was trying to create a Jamaican bobsled team, and he was trying to recruit your dad for it." And he was like,
"That's John Candy.
That's Sean Candy." And he was also like, he's like, "Yeah, that guy still lives on the island." He's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Yeah, but he might be in jail or dead because he's a bookie."
Yeah. And so Doris goes and finds him with Sanka.
With the because he was inspired
by
his dad to start a Jamaican bobsled team with this guy.
Yeah. And so he goes and finds John Candy. John Candy is losing money actively on a sports bet.
Yeah.
And so he's not in a good mood. And Doris goes, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about putting together a team."
Yeah.
And John Candy goes, "Kick rocks." And Doris goes, "Well, then I'll be back later and I'll ask you again."
In this situation, Doris was was Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, and
Yeah.
John Candy was Iron
Sure.
Man.
Yeah, sure. We could say that.
It's
John
the- it's
Candy
the
is
exact
Iron
same
Man
movie.
confirmed.
Sorry, my leg itches. Ugh.
I'll scratch it for you.
Thanks.
Don't look at me like that. Someone has to take care of him. Are we really friends if there's no homoeroticism between us? Let's
Yeah.
be real.
He was gonna do it with his raspy cat-like tongue as well.
Mhm. I sand it specifically for him.
This is too much. I think we're getting a little bit too familiar with each other.
We record these way too late now. Anyways, so yeah, we
There's a whole montage. Of
There's
him
a whole
being like,
montage.
no, I'm not gonna do it. And then
eventually he gives in.
that
He's like,
fighting
"Fine,
American spirit
I'll
in
let you-
Derice.
Fine, I'll let you do it just once.
He's like, I'm gonna come back every day until you say yes.
Yeah, and so Derice gets as many people as he possibly can into one room to try to put together a bobsled team. And John Candy goes, "You guys like breaking your bones? How about shattering them into millions of pieces?"
Yeah, and
In
he shows a
almost
lot
that
of
exact
graphic
same
scenes.
tone.
Yeah, a lot of graphic scenes of bobsleds being flipped over and running off the course.
And then by the end of it, they got 3 people, which is unfortunate because they need 4 for a bobsled team. So who do they call in but the person who tripped them for the 4th person, which causes a lot of problems.
Well, the funny thing is that it was literally Derice and Sanka were the only one in there,
Yeah.
and the other 2 that show up were not there for the thing.
Oh, yeah,
which is
that's
a good
true.
thing that they weren't
Yeah.
there.
Because Brenner was like, "This is my only chance to get out of here, so I'm
Jewel is
going to do it."
Yeah, big bald guy. He's like, okay, well, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
No matter what. So I'm in.
And Junior was like, "I want to go to the Olympics."
And Joel was very mad. He was like, "You mudda,
Yeah.
you tripped me, and now I can't go to the Olympics," or something like that.
That's
Sorry,
pretty good.
sorry for that. That was
That's
horrible.
pretty good.
Horrible accent.
So then they go to a training montage where John Candy teaches them how to bobsled, Jamaican
Well,
bobsled.
with the push carts.
Yes, and they get slightly better, and then at some point they're going so fast that the police try to catch them, and they're like, whose vehicle is this?" And they go, "It's property of the Jamaican bobsled team." And the police are like, "The Jamaican bobsled team, like the snow sport?" And then John Candy shows up and he goes, "You guys did it. We got a good time. Back away, police. We did it. We can go." And then they go to another montage where they have to fundraise.
Yeah, and it's just a bunch of people laughing at them and saying no.
Yeah, they had
Some
a
of them
kissing
don't
booth.
even. Some of them even don't say no. They just laugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they try to get creative with raising money. And
Yeah. And at the end of it, they made like $1.17 or something like that.
yeah, I think
And they needed $20,000.
yeah, I think Derice and his girlfriend or wife at the time
Yeah.
put in the most, and it was like $50, and then
And the
everybody
cigarette.
else got like, a few dollars.
Yeah.
Sanka did the worst, obviously.
Mhm.
And then, hey, who comes in and saves the day? But
But the rich kid Junior, he's got Papa's money, and by Papa's money, he sold his car.
yeah,
And then they were like,
for 20,000.
"No, dude, we can't." Yeah, imagine,
Dude,
what kind of
but
car
back
is
then-
that? Yeah, especially in Jamaica. What car was that?
I don't. It was a red sports car with the convertible one
Oh yeah,
that he was
yeah.
washing, and then he sold it. So I mean, in 1993 money, what is that, like $50,000?
Probably, yeah.
maybe 60. Crazy.
It's a pretty penny for sure.
Yeah.
And
So he
then,
saved
and then
it.
everybody goes, "Oh no, we can't take that. That's not a fair gift." And he goes, "I literally tripped all of you and made it so you couldn't go to the Olympics.
And they were like, "Oh yeah."
So you're taking this is a gift to you." And then Derice goes, "You mean a gift to us because you're a part of the team, brother." And then they go to Canada. This movie seems like it goes by really fast. It's actually a pretty straightforward movie. They go to Canada where racism happens, and people go, "Hey, Jamaica, you can't have a bobsled team. There's no snow where you live." Almost exactly like that.
Yeah, and everybody looks very different from them. Everybody's white
Yeah,
and pale
very pale.
because they're used to living in the snow.
Yeah, a lot of Canadians, a lot of Russians.
The Swiss are the main.
The Swiss
enemies.
are the main enemies that are being racist.
Yeah. Crazy. Aren't they supposed to be known for being nice? The Swiss
And John Candy
neutral to everything except for racism, apparently.
And John Candy calls it a
They pick
favor
sides.
to one of his old buddies, and is like, "Hey, we need a bobsled."
Well, okay, now you're back to doing Beetlejuice. It sounded like
we need a bobsled.
put your toes in it.
I'll suck your toes for a bobsled.
No, so I think one of the important things that we learned though is that John Candy doesn't have a great reputation.
Not at all.
Even
In fact, everyone stares at him.
Yeah, even his friend. So it's a group of 3 guys, and one of them is clearly, kind of still likes him.
Yeah.
Shakes his hand, and the next guy just stares at him and walks away.
Yeah. This isn't where we learn what his problem is, though, right? We
No,
learned that
no,
a little
no.
bit later. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but we know that people don't like this guy at all.
Oh, I forgot to mention, he's like a 2 or 3-time gold medal winning coach
For bobsled?
for bobsled, not Jamaican bobsledding, but
No.
bobsledding in
Jamaican,
general.
no. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like got a good reputation,
Well,
except he doesn't.
yeah, except he doesn't.
So he asked his friend for a bobsled. Everyone's like, "You came here without a bobsled? That's crazy." And they go training with their bobsled, and they do like not the qualifying race, but like a pre-qualify or whatever. Yeah. And then we learn that the reason why John Candy doesn't train people anymore is because he cheated and got them disqualified.
He's a cheater.
He put weights in the front of the
Disgraced.
bobsled to try to
Very
make it go faster.
unpatriotic of him
Yeah,
to cheat and then lose his gold medals.
that's right. Someone said this is very American.
Very American, but not very patriotic.
Yeah, it's un-American, but no, it's very American, but unpatriotic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
you got it right.
Thanks.
And the team learns that, and they're all just like, "Oh, okay."
Well, Darius didn't. He's a good.
He kind of doesn't
Loyal.
believe it.
Well, he just I felt like he just said, "So what, man?" Like,
Yeah, he didn't want to give in to the hater trying to like bring the vibe down.
yeah, because he's a good person.
Yeah.
Like Goofy,
Yes, like Goofy.
very positive. He just said, "Hey, you know what? Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, Goofy goof.
We keep running with it."
Coolly.
Yep.
And then the more stuff happens, like
Oh, important stuff.
important stuff. Precisely, Jarvis.
No.
Important stuff.
No, actually important stuff.
No, I believe you. I'm
because
just drawing a blank.
I'm
You
trying
got
to
it.
remember which came first.
Got it.
The part where they're all in the room and they're kind of talking and Jules making fun of Sanka for reading the Hulk comics.
Yeah,
Does that before or after the bar fight?
that is before the bar fight.
Okay, so then that's important because
Yeah, that's team development.
because there's a lot of tension between Jewel
I will say
and Junior.
that scene did give me like my new favorite comeback.
Oh yeah.
It did, because I didn't even tell Sybil about this. So the scene is Sanka is reading a Hulk comic,
Yeah.
and Brenner, the hard-ass big guy, is like taking his attention away or something. He goes, "I'm going to go back to my reading," and then pulls out the Hulk comic, and Brenner goes, That's not reading. That's a picture book for kids."
Yeah.
And Sanka goes, "Well, then I'll let you read it when I'm done." Which I thought was
Sanka's-
brilliant.
Yeah, he's great with the one-liner. Sanka is.
That was too good.
He's the funny friend of the group.
Oh, for sure.
But
and-
there's a very sweet moment between Jewel and Junior,
Yeah.
which is reciprocated later on in the bar fight, which I love. That's probably my favorite part of the whole movie. Both of those scenes.
Yeah, he's talking
Because-
him up and trying to
yeah.
help him find a voice for himself
Well,
and not be a
he's-
doormat.
Yeah, well, Joel is like, we get to learn about him because he says, look, man, he basically looks at Sanka and says, look, man, you're a loser who's not going anywhere and you don't have any goals and everything is just, flippant to you. He's like, I've got plans, I've got goals, and I'm going to live here one day. And he has a folded up picture of Buckingham Palace. And he doesn't know that it's Buckingham Palace. He just knows it's a palace and it's huge.
Yeah, and he wants
And
to live
he
in
has
it.
aspirations.
Yeah.
And Sanka and Junior both start laughing at him because I think Sanka says, "Yeah, if you marry the queen, you can live there, the Queen of England." And Junior's like, "Yeah, man, that's the Buckingham Palace." In
Brita's
England.
like, no.
Yeah, and
What are you talking about? It's like,
but-
yeah, you can only live there if you're royalty.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
No
So
other
you got to marry the
choice.
queen if you want to live there. And so, but the heartfelt moment is that you see Jewel like hear the truth of his goal, and he becomes disheartened.
It
Like,
also brings him back down to
yeah,
their level.
Yeah, he
reality.
takes the photo and he crumples it, and he kind of throws it on the floor or leaves it on the counter. And Junior says, he goes to Sanka and he says, "Man, like," he's like, "Don't put him down. Like he's got dreams. At least he has dreams." He said, "You know what?" He picks up the paper, uncrushes it, and he starts walking towards Jewel. And he says, "You know what? The world would be a much better place if there were more Jewel Brenners in the world." And he comes up to him, puts his hand on his shoulder, gives him puts the photo back on the desk where he is, and he says, "Hey, don't let anyone like tell you your dreams are dumb," or something like that.
Yeah, and then Brenner is a diehard Junior stan from then on out.
Dude. Well, now he's made
It's like
yeah,
I will not let anyone
got his
step
back.
on you ever again.
he's got his back. He's his best
See,
friend now.
you do not let people talk to you like that. You're a champion. You're a winner.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So then let's continue the story, but we'll get to that.
That is
That
basically what happens. is
Oh,
that
does
he-
it jump
yeah,
straight to
no,
the bar
it's-
scene?
No, that he does it once where he's like, "Hey, man, you don't need to be a doormat for people," and then the bar scene happens like 2 scenes later.
Yeah, they literally are, everybody in, I guess, Canada. It's just chilling, having a good time before the games start. And our Jamaican team is there. The Swiss team is there. A lot of the teams are there. Sanka's just freaking, dancing with some country girl.
Loves it.
Yeah, he's
He
having a
loves it.
great time.
Dosey Don.
Oh, she's got his
Square
his,
dancing.
his Jamaican beanie on.
Mhm.
So she's having a good time as well. She probably flirted with him too, but he knew what was going on.
Doesn't it get traded for a cowboy hat later in the
He
scene?
takes her cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And she's wearing the beanie. But there's dancing, and then Jewel and Junior are talking, and maybe he's getting hyped up.
Yeah.
And then the Swiss guy's like, "Hey man, keep it down." I don't know. You do the voice.
For the Swiss people?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound white, so it's, "Hey man, keep it down."
No, they got a thick accent.
I don't know how to do Swiss. Hey man, keep it down. I don't know. What do you
okay.
want from me? Hey man,
so
keep it
basically
down.
they're aggressive, and they're like, you just always default to your Beetlejuice voice.
Hey man, keep it down.
He's just
Kermit is the Swiss. Yeah.
yeah, but they're kind of mean, and it's like, "Hey man, keep it down over there," and he's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry," and then he's like, "Yeah, you better be." And Jules like, "Nuh-uh,
Yeah. It's-
don't talk to my friend like that." He's like, because he says, "What are you gonna do about it?" And then Junior's like, nothing," and then Jules like, "I'll do something about it."
yeah. And then they basically get into a little scuffle, but not really.
Well,
They get in trouble.
Well, Junior goes to the bathroom to sulk. Joel follows him and gives him the greatest pep talk ever.
Yeah, that is you are a champion.
No, he says
You cannot be stomped on.
He says, "Look in the mirror.
stand
What do you
for yourself."
See?" He says, "What do you see?" Oh, because he was upset about his dad. His dad was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you need to quit this," and he was upset. "What do I do? You don't understand. My dad's really mad." And so Jewel is with him in the bathroom, I believe, just looking in the mirror. And he was like, "What do you see?" And he just says, "I see Junior." And then he's like, "You know what I see? I see pride. I see power. I see a bad motherfucker who don't take no shit from no one." And then he's like, "Now what do you see?" And then he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I do too. I see pride." And he just basically quotes him, and then he feels real confident. He goes back
Yeah.
to the Swiss guy, and he's like, "Hey, you can't talk to me like that. You better have a good apology." And then he's like, "No." And he's like, "Well, you better." And he again says no, and then that's when the bar fight starts.
Yeah.
But I really, dude, between those two moments where Junior stuck up for Jewel regarding his dreams, and Jewel saying, "Hey man, you're timid, you're scared, you lack confidence. He's like, but you know what I see? I see pride in you. You have a strong pride for your country, for your goals. I see a power to defy your father, to just stand above, the bullies. And he said, he said, hey, you're a bad motherfucker. Like, he basically said, he's like, so I really love that so much, just to see him be like, yeah, you know what? I see those things too. And for him to do something about it, I don't know. It tugs at the heartstrings.
It is the team building part of the sports movie for sure. And then they all go back, and Doris is like, come on, guys. We can't be doing this.
Yeah.
John Candy walks in and goes, yeah, guys, we can't be doing this. And then he gets called in by the committee or whatever.
Yeah, he gets a note or something, and they're like, hey, about this Jamaican thing. It's not going to work out.
We skipped the part where they raced in the qualifiers and they beat the time to do it.
They were already trying to throw wrenches in their plans. They said, oh, hey, it's not a minute 2 seconds anymore. You got to get it
under
a minute flat.
now. Yeah. And they did it.
They did it.
And then John Candy gets called in by the committee, and the committee are like, hey, so you have to race in like a sanctioned race to be able to qualify for like the Olympic race.
Outside of the Olympics.
And he was like, well, the rule used to be that you could do these qualifier races in place of an actual other qualifying race, which is what we did. They said, yeah, that was the rule until 25 minutes ago when we changed it.
Yeah.
John Candy went, I think that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, real American move there.
Yeah.
Jerks.
And they went, well, we don't care if you think that it's wrong. It's what we're doing. And then he goes, man, this is bullshit, and then leaves.
He said, what?
Man, this is bullshit. And then leaves and goes back to the boys and goes,
one more time for good
yeah,
measure?
we're done. Man, this is bullshit. And then leaves. And then tells the boys that they got disqualified for some bullshit. And so they all get kind of upset, and then it all kind of culminates into nothing because he gets called back like the next scene and is like, hey, we changed our mind. You guys can race.
Yeah, well, he gives a pretty epic speech about
to the guys,
about what representing your country in the Olympics means, and how dare you crush these innocent young men's dreams because I was a messed up person. And and it was good. It was great.
It was good.
He did a good job.
So they all
he won the judges' hearts and the hearts of all Americans who were watching it.
He got the gold medal in empathy.
He did.
But he's still technically disqualified, so he didn't really get it. So it's the night before they go do their Olympic race.
He cheated, and he had to give it back because he wasn't sincere.
And Doris wants to know why he cheated.
Fair question.
And John Candy's like, yeah, that's a fair question. And I guess you deserve to know. And it was basically because he had to win.
He made winning his whole personality.
Yep.
Like, he was nothing if he wasn't a winner. And so that's where winning was so important that he would cross lines in order to stay a winner.
Yep.
And that's bad, folks.
And that's bad.
Don't do that.
We don't like to cheat here.
No, we don't cut corners.
No cheating. We do not buy subscribers.
No, we don't. We get them the good old-fashioned hard way by begging
Travis going to the grocery store and flirting with the cashier. Travis is going to have to buy a lot more groceries this month.
And putting up kissing booths for subscribers.
Yeah, we are putting up a kissing booth at Fiesta this year.
Yeah, we do it the old-fashioned way. We stare into the camera and make our eyes big, and we beg and plead.
Yeah, the full-time kissing booth.
Yeah.
So they go do their race, and they do terribly, and to the point where John Candy goes, hey, guys, I thought you guys wanted to win. You guys work them among yourselves and let me know if you actually give a shit. And then they come back the next day, and they knock it out of the fucking park.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I think it was like a 56-second time or something like that. And everyone was like, "Oh my god, where was this yesterday?"
Yeah, because yesterday everybody was laughing at him, and they're like, "These guys."
So I brought them from last place to 8th place, and then if they did another good one, they'd probably make top 3.
Yeah, there was a good scene in Jamaica of a little kid.
It was very sweet
On a little chalkboard erasing them from whatever place they were in.
39th.
Yeah, all the way up to 8th. So
it was pretty good. And then they get to the final race, and for some reason, I don't know why, people didn't tighten their fucking bolts before they got in their bobsled.
Well,
which
before that,
feels like normal, regular, like, hey, big race maintenance.
double check everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I think is important is after they do good, everybody's now on their side.
Oh, yeah. Because they've earned the respect of their peers.
Yeah. Yeah, even the announcers were very...
Yeah, that's
now,
true.
Now,
on the last day, they were all like
overtly
Jamaican bobsled
biased.
team as a T-shirt.
They were
which
not
is
unbiased judges or commentators anymore. They were very biased.
So they start the third race. They're killing it. And they're like zipping and weaving and driving, and bolts are tumbling out of place. And as they're hitting like the last turn, their bobsled tips over and basically like lands on its side, and they're probably like 100 feet from the finish, probably something like that.
Yeah, not very far. It's with an eye shot. You could probably throw a rock far enough to pass the finish line from where they were.
So they
a stone's throw.
From what we learned earlier, that it's not a bones breaking sport; it's a bone shattering sport. So it's like, are they dead? And thankfully, Sanka asks if they're dead.
That's a joke, a callback.
Yeah.
I think it's Doris who asks him. He's like, "Hey, Sanka, are you dead?"
Yeah. And he said, not yet. And so they see like the paramedics coming towards them.
Motion, running.
Yeah, it's all slow motion. And
very, very dramatic.
It was either Junior or Sanka that was like, Doris, what do we do? And he said, I'm going to finish the race.
Yeah. Very American spirit.
Very American of this Jamaican man.
The American spirit had taken over him, possessed him.
And so they all get out of the bobsled, they pick it up over their shoulders, they walk in over that finish line.
And everybody cheers.
And they gain the respect of all of their peers, even to the point where the Swiss guys go, hey, man, can't wait to see you back next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next Winter Olympics.
Yeah. And that's Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
Hey. You look good over there.
Look real good.
We thought about sharing your kindness with others.
Share the love.
Maybe like the video. Click on that subscribe button. And show your friends.
Yeah, just touch it ever so lightly, that like button. Move over to the subscribe button. Maybe tap your keyboard just a little bit. Leave a comment. Bye.
That's it.